Mike, the AI takeover has entered a new frontier, fact-checking. What do you think?
Okay, let me start by saying I really love the concept of community notes to begin with. When X
Yes.
rolled that out, I thought that that was a really innovative, really value-driving initiative. I really like that. I am heartened to hear that they are right from the get-go putting human barriers in place on all of this. My concern is one of the great promises of AI is scale. There's going to be a whole lot of note adding when AI is just kind of unleashed on this. And my first question is, what is this AI trained on? I do like that people can independently create a bot, attach it with an API, and have that out in the world. But I think that before even a note gets generated, I think there need to be some guardrails upstream, because if you're feeding your bot that is now going to fact check other statements on the internet,
Yes.
it's consensus driven.
Yeah.
Most people think a cow started the Chicago fire. Like, if you're
Is that
just
true? I never heard that before.
yeah, there was a
I
whole
guess it's
thing.
not true,
Yes,
actually.
there's a whole thing that a cow kicked over a gas light, and
Huh.
because Chicago was built on wood, that the entire city went up.
Yeah.
It absolutely did not happen like that.
Yeah.
But it's been repeated enough times, and it's not like such a high stakes story that I think if you went for a consensus driven answer, you'd get the wrong one. So that's kind of like fact's a thing. You know what I mean?
It's not a moving target like
Precisely.
some in society would have us think.
Precisely.
You know? Yeah.
And so that's where I'm like, where is the objective kind of benchmark of fact that all of these robots are going to be learning?
Yeah, I sort of agree. And I think it's bigger than X, right? Like X is maybe the first one doing this, but all these social media platforms, you can see dealing with misinformation and disinformation that they may go down this path
100%.
and leverage AI bots to fact check, so to speak. But I'm reminded of the dead internet theory, which I know you're familiar with, you know, and if you're not familiar, the dead internet theory, and I may get some of the details wrong here, but it's basically that the majority of internet traffic that exists today is bot driven or AI created, not human, i.e. synthetic, and that problem as AI proliferates is only going to become more pronounced. And, you know, it makes me wonder if you have bots on AI on X who are putting out information and they're training the fact checker bots on this information that may not be real. Like you said, like what's the logical endpoint of all this? It's the Ouroboros of an AI bot eating other AI bots and training on misinformation, and then that becoming established as fact.
Yeah, Brian, you're on a very good kind of lane of thinking right here, because academia actually has a term for this. It's called model collapse. You want to guess whether that's a good or a bad thing?
It sounds bad.
Most
to
collapses
me.
are
Most
collapses are bad.
And the collapse of the Berlin Wall, not so bad.
Not
but
so
otherwise,
bad.
yes.
The exception that proves the rule. But this particular collapse, not very good. And it's the idea that you just laid out, is that when the majority of content being generated is being generated by AI, and therefore the majority of content training AI was generated from AI, you become untethered from the real world. Their facts are very hard to pin down in that world, and you get to an almost robotic existential crisis where nothing means anything.
Yeah, and I also wonder about the human reviewers, right? Like, you know, we know that social media platforms at large have this issue with bot traffic, and it doesn't seem like there's a way. I mean, you can review accounts to determine the likelihood that one is a bot and one isn't, but as these become more sophisticated, I think it's not unrealistic to think that humans could start creating bots that appear to be human on social media, and you could also create bots to rank and score community notes as if they were a human. Or even if that's too far-fetched for you, you could just have human reviewers who are acting in bad faith. They want something to be true, so they're marking the incorrect fact check as true because it substantiates whatever they want or whatever they believe. So I don't know that relying on humans to score these things is the answer either.
No, it's not a fail-safe. And to your earlier point, that is one of the first things bots do, is develop ways to trick you into thinking they're not bots. I'm sure everybody listening to this has had some sort of experience with CAPTCHA, the company that kind of, validates that you are a human being and can continue with this transaction. The reason you've seen those change so many times over the years, and sometimes you're like, this is too hard for a human to get, is because they're responding to the bots learning and getting through those hurdles. So that it won't happen here, that's kind of a naive thing to believe.
And, you may be listening to this conversation and thinking, okay, so like, what does this have to do with marketers? This is a media issue, which media obviously plays a big part in marketing anyway.
Yeah, but your point is well taken.
There is actually a larger issue here. There's a brand safety issue. If you're a brand, I'm not going to use any particular one. Let's say you're a candy bar brand.
Yep.
And a bot puts out information that your product causes cancer. And then that is used to train an AI fact checker. Now suddenly you can sort of see the pathway to where something that is completely unsubstantiated, untrue of your brand is now being seen as fact simply because of this dynamic, this environment that is being created. So, AI, I think we have a healthy skepticism of some of its, but we also think that there are a lot of useful applications for it. I'm not sure that turning over fact checking entirely to bots, and that's not what X is doing. To be fair, they are making it clear human reviewers will still be part of the equation, but bots are certainly taking on a bigger role. And that's pretty scary, I think, just from a brand safety perspective, like I said.
Yeah, I mean, it's a scary world out there when it comes to technology. It's proliferating at a rate that we have never seen, and it'll never be this slow again.
Yeah.